All right, so I have now completed the length, the shirt length, so I am just going to check that right off. I love the checking off part. Okay, now I'm going to come over here to the neck size. Okay, and I need to take out 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so the place that we're going to take out the neck is, if you just look at this pattern, the neck goes all the way around, and we don't like to alter on center front or center back. So I'm going to take that 3/4, here I can show you on this picture, and I'm going to actually divide it in two, and I'm going to take half of it out here, and I'm going to take half of it out here on the shoulder seam. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I have 3/4 divided by 2 is 3/8. Now, if you think about what goes around the neck, well, first you have a neck band, then you have a collar, and those get sewn into the yoke. So that's what we have to do, 3 pieces, okay? And I'm going to do it along the shoulder line. So with that in mind, I'm now going to slash through the neck band, and I'm going to slash through the collar at the shoulder seam. On the neck band, they give you center back, center front. I don't see anywhere here where it says shoulder, but I do happen to know that this dot is the shoulder. So I'm going to do a line, draw a line straight through that shoulder, and I'm going to make it perpendicular to the grain. So I'm actually going to draw this grain a little bit longer, because this again is my grid and I need that line. So I'm going to do a line perpendicular to the grain line on the dot, and I'm going to draw my slashing line. Okay, so those are my 2 slashing lines. I've already cut this one right through, but now the collar, no marks whatsoever. There's not even a shoulder mark. But we do know that the collar gets sewn to the band at these notches, so I can mark off where the shoulder is. Okay, and once I do that, I actually extended my grain over to where that mark is, so that I can do a perpendicular line right along the collar. Okay, perfect. So now what I'm going to do is, I've already cut these 2 apart. I'm now going to slash right through here. Okay, now I have to remember to do this the direction we need it, okay? Because a lot of times when I'm doing these, I actually will add to the collar, but this time I'm decreasing, so I've got to remember that. So what I'm going to do, and see, I cut out all these little papers here because I'm so used to increasing, I've got to decrease. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my see-through ruler here, and I'm going to draw a line on both of these that is 3/8 of an inch. Okay, and then I'm going to take this pattern here that I cut it off from, and I'm going to line up that other cutting line up to my 3/8. Okay, and then I can go ahead and tape that. Okay, so I've got that side, so that has been decreased by 3/8. So now I'm going to bring this one over and do the same thing. I'm going to match up the lines here so that I get it just right, and I'm going to decrease that by 3/8. Okay. Okay, so I now have a neck band that is 3/4 of an inch smaller. Now, does it change my markings? Center front are all the same, but my dot should now be in the middle. So there's my dot in the middle of these 2 pieces. So I'm going to cross that out. Again, the dot should be right in the middle of those pieces, so I'm going to cross that out. Okay? And this side, because I kind of redrew that. Okay, so there's that. Now we got to do it over here as well. So let's do our 3/8. I'm just going to line that up and redraw that line so where it will match up. And then I'm going to do the same over here. I'm working on this press board here, and so my pencil, if I had a mechanical pencil, really sharp, it'd be going right through this pattern. So because I've got a little bit more of a duller regular pencil, I'm okay on here. Otherwise I would have to move to a hard surface. So I've got this. Now I'm just gonna put this collar back together so that you would never know that there was a little slash right there. Okay, and I'm gonna put this one over here. You might be asking yourself, does it matter if I go over this or under it? Probably not. I don't think it would make that big of a difference. But it's easier to see this way, so. Okay, all right. I'm gonna just make sure that we get these so that when we actually cut through it, I don't lose part of it. Okay, so now my neckband is 3/4 of an inch shorter. So is my collar. So if I look at this now, it's gonna match. Perfect. See? Right there. Okay, but this band gets sewn to the yoke. So we gotta do the yoke. So let's bring that over here. Now the yoke, again, we do it along the shoulder seam. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut through this neck, okay, and you're gonna go right along the medium shoulder line, and you're gonna go right to the dot, that's where the seam is at. And then you're going to come from this side and you're going to hinge right there. Okay? All right. So I've got that. So now what I am going to put, no, I don't need to. See? I keep thinking I'm going to increase, but I'm not. Okay, now here at the neck edge, at that seam, I need that to come in 3/8 so that it will fit my new band. So I'm just going to do a 3/8 here, okay? And then because of the hinge, I can now close this off here at the neck, 3/8, but go to 0 here at the sleeve because I only need it at the neck. I don't want to add any there because then I don't need it there and I'd have to fix other patterns. So this is one of my favorite alterations. I just love this alteration. And if you have if you are able to do this, just say to yourself, hey, this is a great alteration to learn, and it's actually kind of fun to do. So don't be disappointed if you have to do this. Just be happy. Okay, one thing as far as redrawing, as we know, that's one of our pattern rules, to redraw everything. I've got to take this medium here and join it to there. So I just want to make a nice smooth line here. So I'm just going to join those together. All right? And then this is on the seam allowance, so that's not going to be a problem. I'm just going to tape it there. And it did open up a tiny bit, but we're okay with that. All right. So you can see now we've got all 3 pieces smaller. And don't forget to check it off.